everybody. Hope everyone's well. We're going to continue with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And yesterday we were hearing this meeting between Mahaprabhu and the Vaishnavas living in Puri Dham. And he just met with Bhavananda Rai. And because of Mahaprabhu's relationship with Ramananda Rai, then automatically Mahaprabhu has, he's overwhelmed with love for his father. So Mahaprabhu honored Bhavananda Rai by saying, the glories of a person who has a jewel of a son like Ramananda Rai cannot be described within this mortal world. Dasa Vrindavanam Vande Krishna Dasa Prabhum Tata Chanavatar Chaitanya Leela Vistar Karino Do Nityananda Parabjab Karunarena Bhushito Vyakta Chano Burachincho Vavande Vyasarupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindas Chaganai Saha Jayanti Patakas Chacha Sarvesham Kurunartino Sakshat Pandu Tumi Tomar Patni Kunti Pancha Pandava Tomar Pancha Pucha Mahamati. You are Maharaj Pandu himself, and your wife is Kunti Devi herself. All your highly intellectual sons are representatives of the 5 Pandavas. So we mentioned this yesterday, Bhavananda Rai and his 5 sons, they're sometimes, as Mahaprabhu was saying, compared to the 5 Pandavas and Maharaj Pandu. Rai kohe ami shudra vishoyadam tabu tumi sparshe ishvar lakan. It is like some type of comparison, but it is not that they are literally considered to be avatars, right? Sometimes Ramananda Rai is compared to Arjuna in his relationship with the Lord, but he is an avatar of Vishakha Devi, right? But sometimes that comparison is made. So Mahaprabhu has praised Bhavananda Rai, and now Bhavananda responds, I am in the 4th order, I am in the 4th class of the social order, and I engage in mundane affairs. Although I am very fallen, you have still touched me. This is proof that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am so fallen, and only the Lord Himself can be so merciful, and disregard, all considerations of material impurity and status and all these things. Only the Lord can be so merciful. Like there's that beautiful verse Gurudev liked, Parama karunikuna bhavat para Parama sochātama nachamat para Iti vichincha here mayi pamare Yaduchitam yadunata tadachara. Saying, oh Lord, I am you are the most merciful, second to none, and I am the most fallen, second to none. This is our relationship. So you consider this and you do what is necessary. You do the needful. Nija griha vittapritya panchaputra sane atma samarpilo ami tomar charane. Appreciating Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's favor, Bhavananda Rai also said, along with my home, riches, servants, and 5 sons, I surrender myself at your lotus feet. Evane nadrohibe tomar charane, jabe je agyataha koribe sevane. This son, Vaninath, will remain at your lotus feet to always immediately attend to your orders and serve you. Atmiya jnane more sankochana koribe, je jabe ichatobe se agya dibe. My dear Lord, please consider me your relative. Do not hesitate to order whatever you desire at any time that you desire it. Prabhu kohe ki sankocha tumi naha par Janme janme tumi amar savamshe kinkar. Mahaprabhu accepted Bhavananda Rai's offer, saying, I accept without hesitation, because you are not an outsider. Birth after birth, you have been my servant, along with your family members. So, we have this type of intimacy, because, persons who you are not so close with, you feel uncomfortable to accept favors and service from them. But he's saying, you're like one of my own group. You're an intimate friend of mine, so I can accept. In that type of family relationship, there's not that type of formality or that like awkwardness. If there's like some distance, there's like some element of formality there, and there's this mood of like, high and low, right? And so a humble Vaishnava will feel shy, right, to accept service from normally a Vaishnava will be shy to accept service from someone because they don't want to accept service from anyone, right? But when it's someone very close to them, because they're close, you're not really considering so much, right? High and low. So it's like like with Srila Gurudev, it was considered a privilege if Gurudev would allow you to render personal service, right? Because it meant he was accepting you in an intimate way, like part of the family. It wasn't that he liked to have people serving him and he wanted to have, slaves, he wasn't like that. He's the master and he wants so many servants. But it was like, everyone felt that if he accepted your personal service, it was like a privilege, It was like a mark of his trust. Like Saraswati Dini knows that. Like normally Gurudev didn't like people touching his feet, right? And no doubt there's some element we hear of the whole karma thing, but also Gurudev's a Vaishnava. He's not comfortable with that position of people like, worshipping him. But if it was someone more intimate, more close, then out of affection, he was accepting that. Jagadananda Prabhu, he told me one occasion, a dog passed stool, like it was on the grounds of the temple. Maybe it was like right outside of Gurudev's house. And it was like early in the morning, like maybe he was going to Mangalarti or something like that. But anyway, Gurudev saw that at the same time as Jagadananda did, and Jagadananda, he immediately thought, I have to clean this up. But Gurudev told him, you don't have to clean that, And Jagadananda understood Gurudev was like showing him some respect, like you have some honorable position, you shouldn't do that type of service, But Jagadananda felt, no, like I have to do this service, So he went and he cleaned it, like some type of test, or something. But Gurudev, he had that mood to give honor to persons, but a deeper thing would be to accept, that menial service. That's more of a desirable thing, right? To receive the chastisement of Guru and Vaishnava, that is more valuable than their praise, because that shows, that intimacy is there, that freedom is there. They can be treated in any way, and that exchange between Jagadananda and Sanat. Now we're talking Jagadananda again. Jagadananda Pandit. When he told Sanatan Goswami, yes, I think you should return back to Puri. Then sorry, to Vrindavan, yes. Then, so Sanatan Goswami told Mahaprabhu, I'm thinking I should return to Vrindavan, and Jagadananda, he also thinks like that. Then Mahaprabhu becomes very angry. Who is this Jaga? You, Sanatana Goswami, you are fit to be guru of the entire world, and who is this boy to instruct you? But Sanatana Goswami, he takes this with a very Vaishnava perspective, that oh my Lord, you are actually showing more favor to Jagadananda, by giving him this sweetness of chastisement, like this intimacy. But me, you're keeping some distance, some formalities there. So this type of expression we find. Don't treat me as an outsider, Don't treat me as an outsider, Lord. But we want to be part of your inner group, your inner circle. And you can treat me however you like. Din panchasad bitore asibe Ramananda, Tara sange purna hobe Amarananda. Shri Ramananda Rai is coming within 5 to 7 days. As soon as he arrives, my desires will be fulfilled. I take great pleasure in his company. So Ramananda Rai, he's still in South India, right? And he's on his way. He's finishing up his business. And he's coming. Eta boli Prabhu tare koilo alingan, tar put sab shire dorilo chadam. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Bhavananda Rai. The Lord then touched the heads of his sons with his lotus feet. So he's really, treating them in an intimate way, He's touching their heads with his feet. This is a great mark of his, the intimacy and love that he feels for them. Like Mahaprabhu, he wouldn't tolerate persons drinking his foot water. He would become very angry sometimes. But in some very special, rare cases, he would accept. Like, there's that Vaishnava, what is his name? I don't remember his name right now. I think it's described in the Antya Leela. He's famous because he takes the prasadam of all the Vaishnavas.
Kalidas?
Yeah, maybe that's Kaliya or Kali?
Kalidas, you think?
What is it?
Kalidas?
Kalidas. Yeah. So he takes the prasadam of all the Vaishnavas, right, in Bengal or something like that. And it mentions that because he had so much appreciation for the Vaishnavas, then Mahaprabhu accepted that he accepted him taking his foot water. He had some trick where he would, I think, like when Mahaprabhu was washing his feet before he went into the Jagannath temple or something like that, he had some trick. He would get Mahaprabhu's foot water and drink it, and Mahaprabhu, he accepted that. And it mentions because he had so much appreciation for the Vaishnavas, then he accepted that. Tobe Mahaprabhu tare gore patailo, vaninath patanayake nikate rakilo. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then sent Bhavananda Rai back to his home, and he kept only Vaninath Patanayak in his personal service. Bhattacharya sab loke viday korailo, tobe Prabhu Kala Krishna Dase bolailo. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then asked all the people to leave. Afterward, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for Kala Krishna Das, who had accompanied the Lord during his South Indian tour. Prabhu kohe Bhattacharya shuno hoi har chadit, dakingi achilo hamar sahit. Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Bhattacharya, just consider the character of this man who went with me to South India." You remember what happened in South India, Krishna Das? You remember, right? Kaliya Krishna Das, when he He was Mahaprabhu's personal servant in Vrindavan. But what happened with him? You remember? Okay, you're going to be reminded. Bhattadari kache gela mare chadiya, Bhattadari hoiti hare anilu dariya. He left my company to associate with the Bhattadaris, but I rescued him from their company and brought him here. So you remember this, it's very famous. It was like some group of gypsies, and some of the ladies, they enticed him and took him away from Mahaprabhu's company and brought him back to their camp for some purpose of their own. And so Mahaprabhu personally went and pulled him out of that group and brought him back with him. And they continued the rest of the tour in South India. Mahaprabhu didn't say anything at all. But now, when they reached back to Puri, and Mahaprabhu was bringing it up. So he's announcing this in front of Sarvabhauma and some few other Vaishnavas. So he left my company to associate with the Bhattadaris, but I rescued him from their company and brought him here. Ebe ami hani korailo korila vidai jaha icha jaha masane nahi aradai. Now that I brought him here, I am asking him to leave. Now he can go wherever he likes, for I am no longer responsible for him. So Mahaprabhu is being very heavy here. He cannot stay in my company anymore. Etta shuni Krishnadas kanite lagilo, Madhyan korite Mahaprabhu chali gelo. Hearing the Lord reject him, Kala Krishnadas began to cry. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left to perform his noon duties. Nityananda Jagadananda Mukunda Damodar Chadi Jane Jukti Tobe Korila Antar. After this, the other devotees, headed by Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda, Mukunda, and Damodar, began to consider a plan. So, this is very significant, this pastime, because Mahaprabhu, he rejected Kala Krishnadas. But the associates of the Lord, they did not reject him. They didn't say, oh, you are such an offensive person. We cannot accept you. You are an outsider now. That was not their response, Rather, they felt very merciful. And Mahaprabhu rejected him, but they're considering, well, it's normal. He's a fallible being. He can make mistakes. And maybe our Lord is not happy with him, but he still deserves some mercy. So they considered, how can we help him? And Srila Sridhar Maharshi told one incident in the time of Srila Saraswati Thakur. This is a very famous story. I'm sure you all know it already. But at one temple, one of the brahmacharis, he had some affair with a young lady, and he was a young brahmachari, and so the temple manager, I believe it was Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj, old Tirtha Maharaj they would call him, I believe it was him. He asked him to leave. You made this mistake and you can't stay here anymore. And then after some time, the management changed, and it came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and one of his godbrothers. Maybe this was Madras, I can't remember where. And so anyhow, this brahmachari, he'd been living outside for some time, and then he came and he appealed to Srila Sridhar Maharaj and his godbrother, please, I made this mistake and I had to go, but I would like to come back, I would like a second chance. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he thought about it and he told him, well, our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he is coming here very soon. So I think we should wait until he comes and we'll discuss the matter with him and see what he advises. And so then Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur came and they brought this matter to him, and he gave a very striking answer. And he cited this incident in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he said, Mahaprabhu could not accept Kaliya Krishnadas after he, made this error. And so similarly, I also cannot accept him. However, you, in the mood of Nityananda Prabhu, you should engage him. You should connect him. You should be merciful to him. And for Srila Sridhar Maharaj, this was like a revolutionary conception. Because normally you're thinking, like, whatever my guru thinks, I will also think that, right? I want to be fully in line with my Guru Maharaj's vision of things. But here, my guru is telling me, don't think like me. I'm in my position, it's appropriate for me to think like this. But in your position, it's more appropriate for you to think in this other way. So it's a very, very beautiful example for us. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he says how the most mercy will not be found in the center, actually, but the most mercy will be found in the extension. And he gave the example in a hospital, right? There's the main, like the central department, which is like the general section, right? But then you have the more specialized areas, right? And you'll get more attention there, actually. So it's very, very, very beautiful pastime for us to consider. Because, sometimes we may think like that, right? We see some Vaishnava is doing something bad, doing something wrong or disturbing, and we see they're corrected by our guru or by some authority, and we may think like, yeah, like he deserves it. We don't want to associate with him, he's bogus, or whatever it may be, But no, the heart of the real Vaishnava will feel magnanimous, will feel compassionate. How can we help and engage this person? Srila Gurudev was so magnanimous. There were a few occasions when, because Srila Sridhar Maharaj was very strict, and there were a few occasions when Srila Sridhar Maharaj wanted someone to, he wanted to kick somebody out, of the temple. But Gurudev appealed to him, please. Not only that, but even sometimes persons who were inimical to Gurudev, who were unfriendly to Gurudev, he wanted to keep them, to keep them connected, to the service current. He was that magnanimous. He was that merciful. So we can't always just go with the status quo of things, Oh, everyone's thinking like this and everyone's doing like that, or even Gurudev said like this. We have to really carefully consider, like, use our brains and use our hearts and think, try to consider some higher principles and how we respond to situations and persons. So anyhow, these and also, the devotees, they're always seeing things in a very living way, They're not just seeing, oh, this person did this or said that, or they are this or they are that. But they're seeing in terms of their potential. They're seeing in terms of the possibility, Maybe they're behaving like this now, but it's not like, okay, put a stamp, this is the final document, like case closed. It's not like that. It's never like that. But, you know, it's always something living, and there's so much possibility there, what could be. So the Vaishnavas are always seeing things in this way. You know? How can we deal with this person in such a way so that their potential will be, you know, awakened, and that can begin to manifest. It's not a dead thing. This person said this or said that or did this or did that. They're so offensive or they're so misbehaved, you know, but they're never seen. That's like a dead way of looking. It's like looking at a photograph from 10 years ago and, oh yeah, this person looks like this. It's like, that's 10 years old, you know. This is a snapshot in time. You can't base everything on that snapshot. But it's something moving and living and dynamic. And so we saw that with Srila Gurudev. He had that type of spiritual genius that, you know, he was able to like pierce through with his vision. You know, he could pierce through so many layers covering persons and like detect that fine spark of potential. And yes, there's something here. And, you know, what can I do to awaken that, to bring that out? You know, I mean, he was brilliant. He was so brilliant, you know. That's why we're all here today, you know, because of that.
That's true. There are some people whom he asked to prove themselves.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, every case is different, you know. Sometimes, you know, to protect someone from making offenses, that may be best for them. You know, the main thing that Gurudev couldn't tolerate was Vaishnav Ninda, you know, Vaishnav Aparad. If persons were offensive to other Vaishnavas, that was the main thing that he couldn't tolerate. You know, but like, you know, ordinary misbehavior or inability to follow the principles, those kind of things, they didn't really bother him that much. Gurudev tolerated like so much, you know, but that was one thing he wouldn't tolerate. And the few cases I know where he, you know, like, you know, made some statement, he didn't want this person to associate with our mission or to be in our temples, it was because of some offenses to our devotees, some offensive or critical mentality. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, in some cases that will be the best way, you know, that's the best way of showing mercy to those persons. But again, I mean, depending on the circumstances, even if Gurudev did that, it doesn't necessarily mean that we should totally disconnect with that person. It depends. If it's like a serious case of Vaishnava Aparad, then we would be advised just disconnect. But otherwise, you know, we don't always know what is the relationship really going on between Gurudev and this devotee. Gurudev may, you know, like around Gurudev, you had to be a little smart, you know, because sometimes he may say something critical about a devotee, but you would have to understand he didn't mean it in a mood of criticism. You know, maybe he was saying it to teach a lesson to us. You know, maybe he was actually telling us, you know, like, this is your fault. You know, and also maybe he was saying it to purify that devotee, you know, by like highlighting their fault and bestowing his merciful glance, some purification can take place. You know, Gurudev wasn't envious. You know, like sometimes if we say something critical about someone, it's because we're envious. You know, we want to, like, you know, find their black spot. You know, but Gurudev was not envious. He was, you know, he was always trying to help us, help them, you know, help everyone. It was all a teaching, you know, some lesson. And he also had a sense of humor. Sometimes with some humor he might observe something. But if someone dishonored Srila Sridhar Maharaj or dishonored one of the sincere devotees of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that Gurudev would not tolerate. Then he could be very angry. That was like something serious, but otherwise not so serious. Okay, well, maybe we can just finish this pastime and then we'll finish for today. So these devotees, headed by Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda, Mukunda, Damodar, they're thinking, how can we help this Krishna Das? I'll just read this purport. This is very nice from Srila Swami Maharaj. Even though a person is rejected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotees of the Lord do not reject him. Therefore, the Lord's devotees are more merciful than the Lord himself. Srila Narottam Das Thakur thus sings, Chadiya Vaishnav Seva Nishtar Peyiche Keba. One cannot be relieved from the material clutches without engaging in the service of pure devotees. The Lord himself may sometimes be very hard, but the devotees are always kind. Thus Kala Krishna Das received the mercy of the 4 devotees mentioned above. Gurudeshe pataite chahiye kajan, aike kohi bejai prabhuragamam. The Lord's 4 devotees considered, we want a person to go to Bengal to inform Shachi Mata about Mahaprabhu's arrival at Jagannath Puri. Advaita Shiva Sadi Jata Bhaktagan Sabe Asibe Shuni Prabhuragaman. After hearing news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, devotees like Advaita and Shivas will certainly come to see him. E Krishna Dase Diba Gore Pataya Eto Kohi Tadera Kile Nashwasya. Let us therefore send Krishna Das to Bengal. Saying this, they kept Krishna Das engaged in the service of the Lord and gave him assurance. So they need someone. This was one reason why Shachi Mata, she selected Puri as the place for Mahaprabhu to reside, because it's not so far from Navadvip, from Bengal. And there's some, natural pilgrimage route there. So, it's very easy for them to send. Not very easy like nowadays. You could take a train in 8 hours or flight in less than that. But not so much, to send someone there. So anyhow, they're considering, Mahaprabhu's been away for like 2 years or something in South India. Now he's returned to Puri. It's natural that the Bengali Vaishnavas, they'll want to know about this. They'll want to come and see him. So we need to send someone. So they select him and they're giving him the service connection. They're keeping him connected. The real connection is through seva, right? So in his seva to Mahaprabhu, in this seva, he can feel Mahaprabhu's connection, his presence in his heart. Harudine Prabhustane Koiloni Vedan Agya Deho Goda Deshe Pataye Kajam. The next day, all the devotees asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give permission for a person to go to Bengal. Tomar dakin gaman shuni shachi ai advaita di bhakta sabachedu kapai. Mother Shachi and all the devotees headed by Advaita Prabhu are all very unhappy due to not receiving news about your return from your South Indian tour. Ekajanjai kahuk shubha samachar Prabhu kohe se kodo jai cha tomar. One person should go to Bengal and inform them about the auspicious news of your return to Jagannath Puri. Upon hearing this, Mahaprabhu replied, do whatever you decide, or jai icha tomar, as you like, you can do. So he's accepting. Tobe se Krishna Dase gore patailo, Vaishnav sabake dite mahaprasadilo. In this way, Kala Krishna Das was sent to Bengal, and he was given sufficient quantities of Lord Jagannath's prasad to distribute there. Tobe Gora Deshe Aila Kala Krishna Das, Navadvipe gelo teho Shachi Ae Pash. Thus Kala Krishna Das went to Bengal, and he first went to Navadvip to see Mother Shachi. Mahaprasadiya tare koilo namaskar, Dakin hoite Aila Prabhu kohe samachar. Upon reaching Mother Shachi, Kala Krishna Das first offered his obeisances and delivered the prasad. He then informed her of the good news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had returned from his South Indian tour. Shuni anandita hoilo Shachi matar man, Shiva sadi hado jata jata bhaktagan. This good news gave much pleasure to Mother Shachi, as well as to all the devotees of Navadvip, headed by Shiva's Thakur. Shuniya sabar hoilo parama ulas, Advaitaya charja grihe gela Krishna Das. Hearing of the Lord's return to Puri, everyone became very glad. Krishna Das next went to the house of Advaita Acharya. Acharya de prasadiya kori namaskar, samyak kohilo Mahaprabhu samachar. After paying him respectful obeisances, Krishna Das offered Mahaprasad to Advaita Acharya. He then informed him of the news of Lord Chaitanya in complete detail. Shuni Acharya Gosai Ananda hoilo, Prema Veshe Hunkar Bahu Nitya Gita koilo. When Advaita Acharya Goswami heard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's return, he became very pleased. In his great ecstasy of love, he made a rumbling sound and danced and chanted for a long time. Haridas Thakur hoilo Paramayananda, Vasudev Datta Gupta Muradi Sen Shivananda. After hearing this auspicious news, Haridas Thakur became very pleased, as did Vasudev Dutt, Murari Gupta, and Shivananda Sen. And Acharya Ratna, Vrikeshwar Pandit, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, this long list of names here, Sri Ram Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Sri Man Pandit, Vijay and Sridhar, Raghava Pandit, Nandanacharya, and all the devotees became very satisfied. How many can I describe? Shuniya sabar hoilo parama ulas, sobe meli gela Shri Advaita Pash. Everyone was very pleased, and they all gathered together at the house of Advaita Acharya. Acharya sobe koilo charana vandan, Acharya gosai sabade koilo alingan. All the devotees offered obeisances at the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. And in return, Advaita Acharya embraced them all. Din duitin Acharya mahotsav koilo, Nila chal jaite Acharya jukti drida koilo. Advaita Acharya then held a festival that lasted 2 or 3 days. Thereafter, they all made a firm decision to go to Jagannath Puri. I mean, this is just astonishing, like how much devotion did they have for Mahaprabhu? Just because they heard the news that he returned to Puri, they're holding a 3-day festival about it to celebrate. Incredible. And now they're going to visit him in Puri. How much appreciation they have. My goodness. All right. Well, we can stop there for today. Anyone have any last comments?
In one shlokas you read today, there was mentioned Mahaprabhu will meet with Advaita Acharya and Shiva.
Sorry, what did you say? Mahaprabhu will meet with
Advaita Acharya and Shiva.
And Shiva.
Yeah,
Srivas, maybe?
So,
Or maybe Shivananda Sen, or maybe Srivas Thakur. Something like that.
but there is a short mention of meeting with Shiva, right?
Yes, there is. I think in his travels in South India, there's some meeting mentioned. They have some confidential discussion. It doesn't say what they spoke about, like some confidential meeting. Also, Advaita Acharya, he is considered to be Sada Shiva from one perspective. Vrindavan Das Thakur sees him in that way. Normally, we are considering as Mahavishnu, right? But Vrindavan Das Thakur has that vision in Chaitanya Bhagavat. He describes him like that. And Param Guru Maharaj explains their function is very, very close. Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, they're like practically the same. So there's also that. Okay, well, we have Anu Krishna, Devi, Dasi with us. Very happy to have you back. Welcome home. Would you like to sing Hari Haraya Nama Krishna? Vishakha Varya Ashtatar Shri Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajakacharya Varya Ashtatar Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jaya Sapri Kashi Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Saprasad Shima Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ganga Jamuna Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Shamakun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Shri Kokarta Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Sarasadmat Ki Jai. Vishwavyapi Tadiya Shakamat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Sarasadmat London Chapter Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai. Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Seva Vrinda Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All the world devotees Ki Jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.
Vishakha